Hey, this is it. So, thank you so much again, Anna, for joining our online book club session. This is our last session, actually, today. We were supposed to read the last chapters of the book. Yannick, you already had finished the book, I think, a couple weeks ago already. So we are going to be discussing the book with you, Anna, and maybe we can start by talking about the general um, feeling of how we experience the book. We talked a lot about the characters and the storyline, and so far, this what my impression first of the book was that this is a very, I would say, well-rounded book because it touches on so many topics, um, feminicide, rape, friendship, climate change as well. You approach so many topics that it can really touch everyone, and it's a very moving story. And Yeah, we really enjoyed. I think Kitty and Yannick can share the same feeling. We had a fantastic experience reading your book. It was really we learned a lot about Louisiana and the alligator hunting world. So it was we really had a wonderful experience reading the book and discussing the characters. Maybe Yannick, you want to add something and share how you felt. Marie-Christine also sent me her feedback about the book, so I will share afterwards. But yes, please, Yannick.
Okay, so first of all, hello to everybody, and thanks a lot to you, Anna, to be with us.
Thank you for
We
having
feel
me.
very proud to have you, and
Oh, it's my pleasure.
and be careful because I'm the chatty one of the gang. um, so yeah, no, I'm not gonna be so chatty at first, at least. Yeah, I wanted to say at first that I really loved your book, and I used to live in the US, and I spent about a month crossing Louisiana. So it was years ago, but I really enjoyed the feelings that I found, because I could really, it was like living again there
Whereabouts did you live in the US?
in San Francisco.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I
Oh, that's
I
cool.
used to teach at the French Lycée in San Francisco.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
And so I was in love. I mean, with Dewar. It's
Yeah,
really my
we all love
favorite.
you.
It's my favorite character.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not probably right now the time to explain why. So I'm
Yeah,
going
we'll go back to.
my my colleagues to share their feelings. And also, I would have a question about the one book, a very older book, and I wanted to ask you if you read it and if you had been inspired by the atmosphere. So, but maybe we do that after. And
Yeah.
also, I wanted to tell you I was really not surprised, but ad- I admired the maturity of her writing, besides your young age.
That's very
So
kind.
thank you very much for the book.
Thank you, Yannick, for your very thorough review and feelings about the book. Thank you. Katie, would you like to share your thoughts on the book, please?
Uh, Hello.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Patty, and I liked a lot your book also. And for me, especially, it was nice to read about Louisiana. It was new for me, a lot of things, and I enjoyed a lot also the not book reviews, but sometimes you can hear that one person read a book, Giovanni's Room, for example, or you mentioned also Bronte's book in the book. I liked it, and I especially appreciate the themes of poverty. Um, yeah. And I want to ask you also, how did you make that s- portrayal of poverty and life in this community? It felt so authentic.
Mm,
Well, for me, I didn't grow up in the States, although I did live there for many years. And when I lived there, I was living in rural eastern Texas, so very close to the border with Louisiana, very similar landscapes and very similar culture to what I'm writing about in Our Lost Wild Days. So I spent several years living in this kind of environment, so I learned a lot from that, but also where I grew up in the West Country in the UK, it's a very poor region. It's there's a huge sort of wealth divide. There are some very, very rich people, but other than that, there's a lot of very poor people too. And so it's all a sort of coal mining country, and um, it's been stripped of a lot of its resources. So I feel like even though I was writing about the US, I was drawing on a lot of experiences of the kind of place, the kind of people, the kind of mindsets that I
mm.
grew up around.
Yeah, we can really sense that in your writing and in the details, the way you describe the environment and also the characters. So that's really something that we could feel that you had the first-hand experience. It felt really much this way. Yeah. Hi, Faisa. Hello, you joined the convers. Thank you for joining the conversation. You're on mute. Oh, yes, perfect.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. How are you today? Fine?
Good, and you? How are you?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, that's so nice to for you to join the conversation. We've started a little bit talking about how we experience our thoughts on the overall of the book with Anna. So if you want to share your feelings about the book, please. And if you have a question for Anna as well, you can tell
Okay.
us a little bit.
Okay.
Sorry to put you on on the spot as soon as you joined it. Unless if you want to have a bit of time, just or are you happy to share your thought now?
Me?
Yeah,
Ah,
Faisa.
yes, okay. Yes,
Okay,
I prepare some
great,
thing. So
fantastic.
the more difficult, what is it for me? Because it was the level of language.
Hmm,
At first time, yes. Um, I understood some words, some expressions, but not every every word and not every expression. And I didn't know. And more, more elaborate sentences. There are more
hmm,
elaborate sentences. So it was a challenge, as you said, Lydie. It's a challenge for me.
Yeah.
And we and the culture around Louisiane, and it's when we don't know it, it's we have to search to find something in on internet or I don't
Yeah.
know. And yes, it was difficult for me about this, but the characters are enduring. The way we view, not good characters changes
Yes.
throughout the story. We have an evolution. Yes. Mhm. The evolution of these characters adds a profound dimension
Mm-hmm.
the dimension to the story. Yes, and I liked loyal because
Loyal. Loyal.
loyal,
Mm.
yes, loyal, which represented her name well, and the fact that
Mm.
we have the fact that at the end of the story, she was the one who fights with the guilty, the guilty. Yes, with
The murderer, I would say. Yeah, the bad guy.
yeah, yes. And I liked the cultural setting of the Bayou and Louisiane, and its the mysterious side. We are always invited to be somewhere between the real and the mysterious way, and the unreal. Yes, and
Yeah,
me,
the mystic as well. Yeah, the legend. Mm. Yeah, it's
I
true.
love the mystic way. In
Mhm.
That's all right. Thank
Thank you, Faisa, for this very detailed feelings about the book and review about the book. Maybe Anna, you want to say something?
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm really, really touched by anyone reading when it's not your first language. I know when I'm reading in French, it always takes me twice as long, and because I'm always having to stop and look things up and check things. So I know it's a lot of work, and I'm always really impressed when people do that. So thank you, and thank you for your feedback. That's really articulate. Thank you so much.
you.
Yes, so that's the thing with the concept of the book club is that it's challenging, but in the same time we also develop a lot of our vocabulary
Mm.
because we have to search and we learn a lot in the specific topics. So it was for Faisa, but also for my Christine, a little bit challenging. But what some members sometimes do, and this is what my Christine did, she wrote the French version of your book. So she
Mm.
bought your
Yeah.
French book, the translation, and then she read the English. So it was like a second reading, and she actually enjoys that because in French she kind of read it quite easily because
Mhm.
she's comfortable with the language and etc. And with the second reading in English, actually she pays more attention to the details in the story and the description, and of course maybe the translation in French is not always as loyal to your writing. Maybe you want to share something about the translation in French? I don't know.
I
How you
mean, I
feel?
think my translator does a really good job. She's done both of my books so far.
Yes.
I actually haven't read the translation for this one. I read for my first book, Tall Bones. I read the French translation for that, and I thought she did a great job. But my French was not very good back then, so maybe I missed some things. But um, no, I think it's such a fascinating process as well because a lot of my so I'm translated in quite a few languages, and some of my translators, they like to talk to me, and it's a really sort of a joint project doing the translation, and you
Yeah.
know, they want to make sure that they're, even if they're changing something, which they sometimes have to do to make it make sense culturally, they want to, you know, contain like the spirit of what I'm saying, and it's such an incredible job. I have so much admiration for it. Um, my French translator never speaks to me, which is sad because it's the only language, the only other language I speak. Um,
Ah,
I feel like it would be interesting to work on a translation with her, but no,
ah.
my actually my German translator is my favorite. He's really, really active, and yeah, no, he's fantastic. He's always asking me questions about things, and they did an audiobook in German as well, which was really
Yes,
cool. So they're,
yes,
yeah,
I
there's,
heard it. Yes, it was really good.
yeah, they're really great. I love my German translators. They're brilliant.
That's
And I heard the book in German and also in English, and it was so interesting because in English it sounds like the setting is in the black community because the sound of people sounds different. And do you understand what I mean?
Like the accents that
the
they have.
accent.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so the accent in southern Louisiana is really, really specific to that area.
Ah,
And it's not necessarily like a racial thing, but it has been really influenced by a lot of different people being in that region. Like the Native American people who were already there, the formerly enslaved people
yes,
from Africa and coming up from Haiti as well, and all of the French and Spanish settlers that were there too. So it's such a unique accent that uses a lot of French, and also um, uses a lot of Spanish, and also has a lot of words that are just totally unique to that dialect. And I really love hearing it. I remember like
it is very different because when I read the book, I had only pictures in my head with white people.
mm,
And when I heard the book, then I understood maybe it's mixed. It's very different, yeah, and
yeah, I think
beautiful
it's
sound.
definitely more of I mean, certainly a lot of the characters in the book are white, but
Yes,
it's more of a, I guess some of them like Sasha, he's coming from a background where like some of his family are black and some of them are white, and he's um coming from a very mixed sort of family heritage, which is very typical of southern Louisiana. And yeah, such a beautiful language to listen to, like the Cajun French down in Louisiana. I find a little bit easier actually to understand like when than like French, because they use grammar in like it's sort of a different way. I guess it's like they're speaking French, but the grammar is more like English. And
Ah,
so
I see.
it would probably sound like total mush if you were listening to it as like a French, like a native French speaker. I don't know that it would make a lot of sense, but I really, really love listening to it. I think it's really beautiful. I love the way
Mm.
they speak with their really gorgeous accent.
yes,
Oh, well, thank you, Casey, for sharing that
Yeah, that's a really good
aspect.
question.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. But as I always encourage my students that whatever way they find, whether if it's through the audiobook or
Mm.
through the French translation, whatever is makes their experience of reading the book easier, the better. And it's also another way to project your imagination into a story. So it's not always easy to create images and yeah. And it's, yeah, it's always great to have these different ways of reading the book. So I'm going to share Marie-Christine's feelings about the book. So I loved her book. Even though I found it a challenging read, it resonated with me on several levels. The difficulty of being different, the reconciliations made impossible by death, and the quest of truth as a way to fight against all forms of violence. It's a profound book that I won't forget. Thank you, Lydie, for recommending it to us, and thank you, Anna, for writing it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Please pass on my thanks to her. That's such wonderful feedback. Thank you.
I will. So yeah, as she mentions, and as we discussed throughout the book, there are so many aspects that you and as you were saying, Katie, there is also I love the reference that you made about Mrs. Bennet's character from Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice. If you remember, it was if you've got the book, it's page 159. You remember, everyone, when
Yes.
we discussed that? I would like to know whether you, because also I found that your way, the way the narrator comes into the story is similar to Jane Austen's style, where with the indirect discourse, we can feel your position on certain on topics like with the
Feminism.
page. Sorry, Yannick.
Feminism, for
And
example.
feminism, yes, and all the topics related to harassment towards women. So yeah, I wanted to have your to know how you how Jane Austen inspired you.
Oh, well, I mean,
Like,
I love Jane Austen. Who doesn't?
of course.
Um, she's definitely an author that I grew up reading when I was really young. My mum, I think when I was about 11 or 12, my mum gave me a beautiful leather-bound copy of Pride and Prejudice, which had been given to her by her mother. And
Wow.
so it was very, very old and fragile. And I'm sure I was not as careful with it as I should have been. But it felt like a really special book because it had been read by the women in my family, and so I was really proud to read it, I think, because it felt like I was part of a sort of tradition of feminist reading in a sense, and it is an incredibly feminist book for its era.
Mhm.
You know, she's making such important points about marriage and how necessary and it is for women, and how, you know, unfortunate it is in a lot of cases. And she's one of the things I love about her so much, though, is that she's so funny. She's such a hilarious writer, and it's completely relatable, even though you are centuries apart. You
Yeah.
know, when she's making a sort of wry comment about one of her neighbors, like, you completely understand it because you've felt that way about somebody too. And it's a wonderful, it taught me so much about being able to connect with readers wherever they are in time or geographically. It's just such a, I think reading her work has always helped me to sort of remember that's the point of what you're writing, is you are trying to connect with your readers. Maybe it's when the book comes out, maybe it's 200 years later, but the
Mhm.
point is you're trying to have a human connection.
Absolutely. And why Mrs. Bennet? Why did you pick that character in the because that's when Sasha is joking around with his mother to about the funeral, want to
Yes,
go to the
yeah.
funeral. That's right. So
Oh,
why this character particularly and not another one? Could you
I
share?
I think that's sort of a joke in my family that my mother would always, whenever she was being very fussy with us. My sister and I would always say she was being like Mrs. Bennet. So,
Ah, I see. Okay, that's lovely. Yeah, I really it was so lovely to have this reference in the book. Do you want anyone want to add anything on this topic?
You mean the general?
No, related to Jane Austen, if you wanted to add something about the or any references about that. No. But Yannick, if you want to share something, another topic, please.
Uh,
And
I I wanted to ask you, Anna, if you at some point were inspired by The Prince of the Tides from Pat Conroy,
oh no,
because
I haven't read that.
because it's maybe it's I didn't check the date of Parisian, but it's probably 20 or even 30 years ago. But it's a huge book. It's not based in Louisiana, but maybe in North Carolina, or I don't remember exactly where it takes place. But there is also this very intricate brother and sister relationship, uh, and a huge weight of family secrets. And
Mm.
uh, your book really took me back to the this kind of atmosphere, and
Oh, who's
it
the
was
author?
my question.
Who
But
who uh, who wrote it?
but if you didn't read this book, I really advise everybody to read. It's a
do you want me to type it in the chat, Yannick?
oh
Maybe.
yes, you can.
Uh,
Oh yeah, maybe.
what's the name of
The
the
Prince, the Prince of the Tides, Le Prince des Marais. It's also translated in French.
Oh, but it sounds really good. I
Yeah, it's
definitely, it
from
sounds
Pat
like
Conroy.
Pat Conroy,
Yeah,
Roy, I guess.
it's very good book.
Yeah,
oh,
to check. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
thank
oh,
you,
okay,
Kitty.
The Prince
fabulous.
of the
Thank you
Uh,
Tides.
so much. Oh, okay, well, I'm definitely gonna put this on my reading list because this
Mm.
this
It's
sounds like
also
something I would love.
oh
similar.
yeah,
Yeah,
Hey! Oh, that
absolutely.
sounds
You see,
fantastic. I'll
there
look
is a
that up.
connection.
I love Yannick. She always has book references to give us away.
Oh no, thank you so much. I'm
You're
definitely
welcome.
gonna look that up. Thank you.
Yeah. Right. Now, I would like to discuss a little bit about our favorite character, you all. Well, I don't know if Kitty, who was your favorite? I know that's Yannick's favorite character as well. He's mine as well. And Kitty, who was your favorite character?
I cannot say favorite, but I liked Duel also a lot,
Yeah.
and I want to also ask was it a starting point for you one character in the book? For example, Duel, you have in head his character, and it was a starting point for the novel.
For
Hmm.
me, I started with Cutter and Loyal as,
Ah,
but
Ah.
initially in the very first ideas for this novel, they were both men, and I had this this idea for a story that I had tried to write a few years before about two friends who have this falling out when they're younger, and eventually one of them comes back to town to investigate something, and they have to kind of they have to put things right. Um, but I wrote a few chapters with it with them both being men, and it wasn't it just lacked a certain sort of depth to it. Not because they were men, because I most of the time most of the characters I write are men, and I
Hmm.
really enjoy doing that. But just because their relationship lacked something, and then I was thinking, as a teenage girl, the most intense feelings that I would have would be falling out with my friends. When
Yeah,
I think a lot of women can relate to that, is having this sort of explosive kind of arguments with your best friends, and then the next day everything's fine because you love each other. But was sort of thinking, what happens when you don't get that opportunity to make up with each other, and it's someone that you love more than anything, which you do when you're a teenage girl. You love your best friends like you love nobody else. And what happens when you don't have that opportunity to reconcile with them? And then I felt like their relationship made a lot more sense to me when I decided to make them both women. But I didn't change that much about the way I wrote them. Like, especially for Cutter, I kept pretty much word for word a lot of the same stuff that I had already written, and so that shaped her a lot as a character, that she became this very this she's quite a macho sort of figure because
Mhm.
she is having to survive in this incredibly male dominated profession, which is alligator hunting. And so that kind of shaped, well, what would her family be like, what would her life be like, and that was an interesting place to start from for sure.
Yeah. And and for Dewall, how or Dewall, sorry, which actually was Marie-Christine who pointed out that Dewall sounded like the devil. Was it
Haha.
intentional? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the name, I remember when you were discussing name picking during the book launch that you enjoyed that
Yes.
to think about the names and Dewall being, sounding like the devil, and loyal, as you mentioned, was it Faisa? Yeah, when you said that, that all makes sense also with the end, that she stays loyal to her friends and want to sort of redemption towards her also, or make amends with her. So for me, he's the most complex and interesting character. And how did you get inspired to find this character, to create this character? How, who, or what was the inspiration for him?
I think I really enjoy a character who you I think I really enjoy making a character very unlikable to start with, and then sort of figuring out, well, why is he like that, and
Mm.
what is the underpinning sort of feelings under excuse me, I'm getting over a bit of a cold, sorry about that.
No.
Um yeah, no, he was initially in again in the very, very early sort of rough notes for this novel. He was much more of an antagonist, sort of simply. I kind of had roughly sketched him out as this very belligerent figure in Cutter's life, that he was a very unpleasant person for her, and he was sort of more of a villain in the story.
Mm.
Um, and then I was it was more when I was doing sort of the work writing Sasha as a character that I was like, well, it's really interesting that what interested me was that they were such opposite figures. And I thought, wouldn't it be funny if they were in love with each other? And so
That
that
was
was,
so unexpected because there is a turning point when Sasha gets bitten. Oh no, yeah, he gets bitten by the police guys, and
mm.
Duo arrives, and you're like, what? And that was really nice.
So I think there's something about those places, having lived in that kind of environment, particularly as a queer person.
Yeah.
there there's a yearning for human connection that isn't even necessarily romantic or sexual. There's just a yearning to be seen by someone else who recognizes who and what you are, and to find somebody that's the same as you. And I think, like, I only lived in small town America for 4 years, and that was enough to be really, really depressing. I loved living there for many reasons, but for to live there as a closeted gay person in in Trump's America, it was sad and it was lonely for a lot of the time. And I think I was thinking, somebody like De Wall, if he has lived his whole life like that, especially his family being very they're very sort of off the grid. They are even more isolated. They've isolated
Yeah.
themselves like on purpose, and he's in this incredibly sort of macho pursuit with alligator hunting. Everybody around him is part of this kind of world that actually he doesn't really belong to, and I think that would
Mm.
I suppose I was interested in what kind of a person he would become as a result of that, and he does end up like he's not totally redeemable in everything that he
Yeah.
does. Like he's done some awful things, but I think a lot of it stems from the fact that he is so sort of he's gotten very twisted up inside from just being alone for almost like 40 years of his life.
Yeah. 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 And we have a sense that Sasha is opening the door a little bit, and
Yeah, yeah.
allows him to open up a little bit and see things differently, to accept himself in a way. Um, yeah, so yeah, it's very um, um, moving and sweet to see their relationship evolve as well. It's really nice. Do you want to add something with on the D-Wall topic, everyone? Or do you want to continue? Yannick, yeah, please.
Yes, for me the turning point is in the church
Mm,
when Sasha came
mm,
to help to carry the coffin during the funeral, and because at this point, I mean, Jewels was there. There is the story with Bo, who is
yeah,
getting very nervous and crying and everything. And Dewar seems to be so lonely uh, in, at this very sad moment. And everybody's in the church and he's just standing there all by himself. And it's like nobody's understanding him. And suddenly Sasha pops up, and that's the beginning of, as you say, Lydie. It's the door is opening a little bit, and then the the, the story goes on, and I I f- I feel. I mean, I was very moved by the character of Dewar because I could see his inner child suffering, and then and we have a little parts of their childhood, and his childhood is seems to have been very hard and tough and red, and the father was awful, and as is the oldest, is the one who suffered the
most,
more,
most,
the
yeah.
most. Sorry, sorry, uh, and uh,
Mm,
and I liked the way that page after page, we can see how besides or not besides, but sorry, I lost one of the easiest word, derrière,
behind.
behind. Behind is tough and rough
Appearance.
appearances.
Yeah,
He has always been there to protect
yeah,
his siblings, and it's very moving. You see, to watch the opening of this character, and of course, at the end, he's not like a very cheerful and
does
guy,
good work.
but I like the hope that we can feel. So yeah, it's a very, very complex and so very human
Mm.
character.
Mm.
Is very rich, so and profound, I think.
Mm.
Thank you. I mean, he was a character that I really enjoyed writing, and
Mm.
he's very dear to me. So I'm always really glad to hear that people also liked reading about him.
Yeah.
And you know, it's funny because you probably don't know him because it's I mean, now I don't even know if it's still alive, but I could, for me, I could see the American actor Nick Nolte,
Oh,
and it was
interesting.
devil for me. But yeah.
Well, now I'm always going to see him that way.
Because
Oh.
Nick Nolte often played this kind of really
Mm,
tough, rough guys
yeah.
with a wrecked heart and but with hope. Mm. So
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to
Oh.
see him as Nick Nolte now.
This character? This
yeah,
actor you're
yeah,
talking about?
yeah.
Okay.
But
Oh.
he's kind of old
Oh
now.
yeah, I
If you,
didn't know his
yeah, yeah.
name at
But
all.
if you search, do a
Like
research,
when he was a bit younger.
yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it would have
It-
been too.
especially there was, I mean, I was a child, but there was this series. It was The Rich and the Poor, and
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
I know
at
that. I haven't seen
this
it, but I know
age,
which one you mean.
mm,
Okay. Right. And it's interesting. You know what? He played the Prince of the Tides.
yeah,
You
I
saw him
know,
in that.
Ah!
I know,
There is a film adaptation of the book you told us about, and he is playing in this 1991.
yeah,
Okay, okay. No,
Wow.
I see it. I see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could. Well, I didn't think about this particular actor, but yeah, the kind of actor like that would work. Yeah, definitely. Right. Well, guys, do you want to discuss another aspect of the book that we didn't explore? There are so many things, but I just yeah, I wanted to do a focus on Dewell, but of course, Sasha is also very moving, and all the things that he experienced, and how, in a way, he's broken. But we see that with Loyal, his relationship with Loyal and Dewell is kind of healing in a way. So yeah, it's also a very beautiful character, I would say. Do you want to add something else, everyone? Alain, do you want to ask
Oh,
something about the book, maybe?
it's a bit difficult for me because I've not been reading the book, but
Do you have a
while we are,
question, maybe?
yeah, well, my question is, when I see such a young writer and such a huge and terrible subject, I always wonder why we come from to such ideas in the book, because it's a book said to be propulsive, bold, brutal, a slice of brutal life in Southern Gothic brilliance, and I am asking me where come from those ideas. I am a bit writing myself, and we always have something in our books that come from what lacks of some things, or suffer who have been suffering of something, and the psychological part of the writers is always a question for me, a question to which nobody is obliged to answer. But but if you like, I would like to have to know the link between yourself and the ideas which are in your book, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, no, and that's all right. I don't mind talking.
Please, Anna.
Um, Yeah, so I moved to the US when I was 19 and I got married to a man. Um and it was not a particularly great marriage. He was from a very southern family, which doesn't necessarily mean anything negative, but he did come from a very conservative, very Republican, very Baptist background, and he had some very old-fashioned ideas about what women should be doing.
Mm.
So yeah, we were married for 4 years, and I lived
Wow.
there for most of the time I was living in East Texas, and then
Mm.
for the last year I moved up to live in Colorado in the Rockies, and which is where my first book is set, and that was really inspired by the landscapes there because I am absolutely in love with the Rocky Mountains. It's the most gorgeous place on earth. So in all of these places that I was living, I was completely in love with the landscapes there. You know, these very isolated, very wild places where you can go out and hike around and you won't see any other people, you won't even see any traces of other people. And I loved that. That was so sort of unspoiled and beautiful. But the kind of community that I was in was not so beautiful, I suppose. You know, I think we were both very young, and I try to be patient with him about that, but it was not a happy marriage. And afterwards, I found
Mm.
out after I had left, I learned that everybody, his family and everybody in our town had known, they had been aware that he had been
Mm.
very, very cruel to me,
Mm.
and they hadn't done anything about it. And because they felt that it was not their business,
Mm.
you know, it is a particularly small town southern attitude to to believe that what happens in a man's own home is his
Mm.
own business, and
Mm.
particularly involving his own wife. And so it, I think that really struck me as I don't know, I was very stunned by that. I remember feeling,
Mm.
and this was like 10 years ago, so it's a long time ago for me, but for at the time, I think writing about it was very cathartic. It was my way of sort of processing these feelings of what happens to people when you're living in a community that is supposed to, uplift you. Your community is supposed to support you, and especially when you are a vulnerable person, they're supposed to be there for you. And to learn that they had known the whole time and essentially been complicit in he was being he was an abusive person and they were aware of this. It's I think that to me that's always been such an interesting place to come from as a writer, because it's sort of it asks these kind of questions of, well, what else are people hiding? What else are people letting slide? What else do people know about and they don't say anything? What kind of characters grow up from these environments when
Mm.
they know, even if they're living in a very tight-knit community, they're essentially on their own. They don't actually have that support of where they come from. So I found that, I suppose, for both of my first books to be, I guess, my starting point, that was something I was interested in exploring.
Yeah, and we can see that in the Don Broussard's character,
Mm.
the
Mm,
abuse and well, especially with the end, we're not going to
Mm.
reveal too much
Mm.
about the
Mm.
book, but in relation to
Yeah.
the reasons
Mm.
why
Mm. Mm.
the
Yeah.
circumstances of the
Yeah.
Cutter's death and her relationship with him
Yeah.
is
Thank you so much for this explanation. For this
that's all right.
explanation. Then,
sorry.
but yes, it's quite interesting because when you are writing, it's coming so much from yourself, from your mind. Even if you are thinking to a story, to to find out subject, people working and that. There is always a bit of ourselves in
Yeah.
all those books. And I have a computer behind me, and I was watching at the same time what you have been writing already. And I think the subject are not natural. It's come very your personality, and you have a very beautiful and huge personality, and it's quite interesting to see what you have been writing. And I like people who give a lot of themselves in their books, in their life, and to the others. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Ella. And it's a beautiful transition to what I wanted to discuss now is what are you working on now, Anna? I've heard that you've just recently published a series of short stories. Am I right?
Yeah, so that's actually not out yet. It's comes
Ah,
out at the end of this month.
okay,
Yeah.
right.
It's a short story collection called Wasteland Girls, and it's mostly stories that take place in the desert in West Texas, which is also a place that I absolutely love. Just being in this kind of landscape where you are just, I don't know, there's something about the desert that really speaks to me. It's so sort of brutal but beautiful at the same time, and I wrote a series of stories initially for the radio, actually in the UK. They were dramatized and performed on radio, and so my editor thought it would be cool to put them into a collection, and I wrote a few more for it as well. So yeah, I absolutely love short stories. I think there's something you have to be so because you only have a certain amount of words, you have to be really particular with your word choices. Everything has to matter, everything has to count, and I really love that as a just as a writing exercise. So I'm very, this collection is very personal, and I love it very much, and I'm really excited to release it. But I don't think it's going to get a French translation because I know French publishers aren't super keen on short stories. So
Publishing world in France. Another topic. But it's nice to see that you, as a writer, you can either write novels and short stories and to diversify yourself and showing that it's not because you wrote novels that you're only going to write novels. And that's nice to that can be inspiring for young writers or aspired writers, but aspiring writers, sorry. And are you writing something new at the moment, or
yeah,
are you always writing stories, or tell us a little bit.
yes, I feel like it's my whole job, so I'm doing it all the time basically. And I just finished a manuscript which I have just sent to my editor last week, which is a historical novel set during the American Civil War, which
Wow.
is a topic that I'm really, really passionate about. So it was, I really enjoyed writing this. I also sort of wanted to move away a little bit from kind of crime and thrillers. Um, I know it's a genre I really enjoyed writing and a genre that I love reading, but it's not I think the novels that I've written they tend to be published that way and marketed that way, but I don't necessarily intend them that way, and I feel like I don't want to be sort of stuck in one genre.
Hmm.
So for me it was incredibly liberating and really joyful to work on something totally new.
Nice. That sounds exciting. Did you have to do a lot of research, I guess?
Yes, but
Yep.
I really, really love
Yes.
researching, and I particularly love this period of history, so I've just had a really great time.
Right. Nice. Thank you for sharing this information and I hope that yeah, it's going to be a real success for you. Um, do you guys want to add something else or It was before we leave, we let Anna go. Do you want to say something?
Just thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good,
Thank you
good
guys so much
luck.
for having me.
Good luck and carry on.
Thanks.
You write
Anna.
impressive books, and you give me. While we were talking, I ordered this book from Amazon.
Oh, thank you.
One more reader.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Anna, for this lovely discussion. It was a real pleasure. You're our second
Oh, yes.
author
Such a pleasure
discussing
to
with
be
us.
with you.
Oh, thank you.
We live so
Yeah.
far one from the other with Lydie.
Well, thank you so much for choosing my book and for reading it and responding so articulately. I really, really enjoyed chatting to you guys this morning. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much again, and I hope that we'll be able to chat again soon.
Thank you very much.
Definitely. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Anna. Thank you so much. Have a
Bye.
lovely
See
weekend.
you.
See you.
Oui, bon week-end.
Bon
Bye bye.
weekend. Okay.